It's been a long process, it's been a learning curve, and we knew from the very start that we had a fabulous tweeter. And the tweeter was always setting a target for what we could achieve. And first out, we started seeking out elements, drive units that fitted that were as good as the tweeter. And the first breakthrough actually came when we designed the ceramic driver that we used in the first series of the C series, the C1s, C2s and the C3s. And I think that was when RAIDHO started to establish itself as being a serious speaker brand with ambitions of striving for the very high end. If I start with the material we used in the 0.0 and the 0.1 versions of the ceramic driver, the material is a ceramic that's made by a PO process similar to anodizing, but the chemistry is different, the voltage and the currents are a lot different, and the time frame is a lot different. It takes approximately 60 hours to transform the surface layers of this. And when you look at the ceramic membrane, 2/3 of it is actually ceramic, and 1/3 of it is still aluminium. They start out as aluminium. They are subjected into this liquid, and they are under so heavy voltage and so heavy currents that there's actually a spark going into the aluminium, and right where that spark is, the liquid boils, and that releases gases. And also where the spark is, some of the aluminium melts, and that melted aluminium goes into combination with the gases, forms aluminium oxide, and that oxide is then pulled back to the membrane because of the voltage, and that creates a layer of ceramic. That layer always targets the area of the cone where the layer is the thinnest. So the layer is automatically totally uniform all around the surface. We have approximately 100 microns of aluminium oxide, and then 100 microns of aluminium, and again 100 microns of oxide. So we have a sandwich, and that sandwich is very beneficial because you don't have the high Q that a pure ceramic membrane would have, because you have the damping of the soft aluminium inside. So when you look at this cone, you have a resonance frequency of approximately 12.5 kilohertz. Filter-wise, it's a very easy driver to work with because it does not have any areas where you need to have suck-outs or make a lot of compensation in what you do. The driver goes to approximately 3 kilohertz. That's where we cross it over. When we set out the path of the ceramic driver, we knew that we wanted to create a very, very stiff cone driver. And for me, there's no doubt, the stiffer you can make the cone, the better. The more pistonic it can perform, and the less issues you will have. So if it was possible to make the same membrane even stiffer, and thus move that resonance frequency further up, maybe an octave more or something like that, it would be fantastic. For a long time I have had a dream about making a diamond membrane for the bass drivers, because that will really put the resonance frequency way up there. The ceramic is the second hardest material, and diamond is the hardest material, so if you wanted something stiffer, there was only one way to go. We could only go towards the diamond. And luckily in Denmark we have a research facility that is focusing a lot of borderline technologies. Borderline in the terms that they are not really industrialized, but they are not really research either, so they are sort of like in between research and common industrial processes. There's only two ways that you can actually build diamond. One is with pressure, one is velocity. And what we have here in this machine is that it can accelerate carbon ions up to a speed almost at light. So we bombard a ceramic membrane as a target with high velocity carbon ions, and by stockpiling the ions, just keeping on hitting it with high velocity, that forms a pressure so big that it can bring the carbon ions so close together that they can form diamond bonds. And on this membrane, we have a layer of 10 microns of a structure that is, half of it is diamond bonds and the rest of it is graphite. So, but if you scrape it off, there's, on a membrane like this, there's 1.3 carat worth of diamond. Where we differ the most is not the choice or the engineering, but it's the fact that we do our own drivers. We have the ability to shape things. If we wanted a different driver with a different cue, with a different spider, we can do these things. And we have very good cooperation with the companies around us supplying us the parts for this. And that means we can tailor things. And that's where I think the philosophy differs the most, is that we actually do things in that respect ourselves.